I want you to think about when you open a girl, when you first say those first few lines, that first minute of the interaction. Have you ever seen a girl walk past on the street or seen a girl in a club and really wanted to speak to her but had no idea what to say? Or do you find that you're able to say one line, maybe that you've heard a million other guys use? Problem is she's had that line used on her loads of times too, doesn't do anything for her. Or do you find you use one line and then you just have no idea what to say next? There's not enough hooks, there's not enough things in what you're saying in your opener to engage her, and you're left with a blank silence. Or have you had those situations where you've maybe used a direct opener on a girl in the street and then had absolutely no idea what to say afterwards? In this video, I'm going to teach you what to say next, how to construct a really specific, really detailed opener that's going to be tailored to every single girl you meet, so you get the best possible interactions, the best reactions, and the best conversations coming out of them. Okay, so when you're drowning in a sea of conversation, I want you to use my unique opening system. It's called OR, not the catchiest acronym in the world, but it really, really works. It's O for observe, A for assume, R for relate.
O is for observe.
Okay, there's 4 main areas at any one given time that you can observe about a woman, because I want you to use an observational opener that's very specific and tailored to each and every girl you see. Why is it so specific? Because you do not want to use a line that a girl has heard a million times before. Instead, you want to make her feel unique, make it special. Okay, so what are those 4 areas that you can use to base your first part of your observational opener on? They are style, activity, location, and mood. Let's talk through style. Okay, things that you can start to notice. Has a girl got a manicure? Are her nails painted a particular colour? Is she wearing any kind of jewellery? These things are particularly useful when you're talking to maybe someone who's at work, so they can't really express their personality through the rest of their clothing. Maybe they're showing it off through their jewellery and how they're going about having a manicure. Other things to notice are if girls coordinate items of clothing. Have they matched their shoes and their handbag? Other things you might want to look out for are the colour of their clothing. For instance, is she wearing a bright coloured top, or is she wearing something that's much more neutral, much more classic? Other things you could pick up on could be something as simple as footwear. Is she strolling through the streets wearing high heels, or has she chosen to be sensible and wearing flats? Second area you can observe is activity. Now, by activity, it's not so much what they're doing, but how they're doing it. You're not looking for a girl to be doing something particularly unusual, like wrestling a polar bear or going skinny dipping in the Thames. That doesn't happen often. Sometimes it does, and it's a gift, but what I really want you to think about is how women are going about doing their everyday tasks. So, for example, you want to look, how fast is she walking down the street? Is she walking slowly, or is she walking quickly? If it's a waitress, is she memorised your order, or has she written it down very carefully? Is she eating something? Is she in a nightclub? How quick is she drinking her drink? Is she dancing off the dance floor? These are all little activities, how people are going about their everyday life, that you can start to pick up on. The third area is location. Okay, by location, it can be talking to her about the fact that she's in the city she's in, maybe London. It could be closer than that, it could be a smaller geographical area, it could be the street that she's on, the shop that she's in, if it's selling something specific. If she's in a coffee shop, or if she's in a bar or a club, look at whereabouts she is. Is she sat at the bar? Has she got the best seats? Is she sat in the window, if a coffee shop, looking out and watching passers-by? If she sat on the tube, the train, has she taken up a whole seat to herself? All of these little things are telling you something about her. The fourth and final area is her mood. It could be the mood that she has when you first open her, when you first approach, or it could be something you noticed her acting like. Is she happy? Is she staring into space and in a kind of a daydream? Is she angry? Is she shocked by the fact that you've approached her on the street? So how do you go about phrasing these observations, the first part of your opener, OAR? You would say, I like this about you. You want to express something positive when you open. Give her a compliment that's very specific to her and she's going to react well. So it would be something as simple as saying, you know what, I really like how you're wearing this really unusual colour of nail polish. Or I really like your chunky crazy necklace. Or I really like how you're wearing a bright pink t-shirt. Or I really like how you've got this really classic, elegant styling. I like how you're wearing high heels on that cobbled street. I like how you're being sensible and wearing flats. I like how carefully you took my order down, you were really paying attention. I like how you've matched those two items of clothing.
A is for assume.
Okay, the next crucial part of the system is assume. Now what I would say is that some girls are more talkative than others. Sometimes you'll say that opening line, your observation, your O, you'll notice the girl will warm up, she'll be smiling, she'll be nodding, in which case pause and let her contribute. Other girls, though, as you well know, require a lot more ploughing, you to invest a lot more in the opening of the conversation before she's going to feel ready to respond to you. This is where you'd pause and wait. If she doesn't react to the observation, you then make an assumption. Okay, an assumption is basically a cold read, a guess about what she's like based on what you've seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit some of those opening observations and say what assumption you can make about them. Okay, let's go back to style to begin with. If she's coordinated items of clothing, say her handbag matches her shoes, you could say, hey, I like how you've matched your handbag with your shoes. You seem like a person who puts a lot of thought and care into their appearance. Another thing you can think about, you could say, hey, I like how you're wearing that bright coloured top. You seem like a very vibrant and outgoing person. Or, I like how you're wearing this black, very serious uniform. You seem very purposeful. I like how you're walking really quickly down the pavement. You seem like a very determined person. I like how you're walking slowly along the streets. You seem very relaxed compared to the normal people you get in London. I like how you took down my order really carefully. You seem like the kind of person that's really conscientious, that always tries to do a good job.
R is for relate.
The final part of our system is relate. What you're going to do, because you don't want your interaction to be all about the girl, if she hasn't started responding by this time, I want you to relate the assumption that you've made about her, the guess that you've made about her personality, back to yourself. You're going to tell her a little bit about you. So this is how it might sound. Hey, so let's say, I like how you've coordinated your handbag with your shoes. You seem like the kind of person that puts a lot of thought and care into your appearance. Me, on the other hand, I have to admit, I just pick up whatever clothes are on the floor in the morning. I like how you've worn this bright pink top. You seem like a very vivacious and outgoing person. I imagine you're the first girl on the dance floor on a Friday night. Me, I prefer just to hang out at the bar. I like how you're looking out the window and people watching. You seem really intrigued about how other people react. I always sit in coffee shop windows too because I like to watch what passers-by are doing. I like how you seem completely in a daydream in the middle of central London. You know what, I've actually started to try and take up meditation to switch off. When you relate it back to yourself, a key point to remember is to always tell her the truth. Be sincere about what your own personal experience of this is. Do not say something you think is going to please her. Women love guys that have their own opinion, have their own life. So if you agree with her, great. If you're somewhat different to her, tell her about that difference. Just express what is true to you. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you guys to start practicing OAR. Observe, assume, relate. Use one line or use all three together. It can be your opener or it can come straight after a direct opener, or you can just insert this when the conversation is faltering. What it does is give you a really good statement. There's lots of stuff in there that she can respond to, so she's going to find it very easy to carry the conversation on. And this is a great trick. If you find that your sets always fall flat because there's just not enough between you at the start, you have to make it easy for the girl. You have to supply her with those ideas, that conversation. Then her mind is going to be warmed up and the conversation you will have, the interaction you have is going to be a million times better. So what I want you to do is I'm going to play all these OARs out, listen to them, start observing people, think about what your observation tells you about the person, the assumption, and then think about how it relates back to you. Anyway, my name's Hayley Quinn. Check out more for further videos on conversation skills.
O is for observe. A is for assume. R is for relate.